What's up there, fellas? Man, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but apparently Spain just got like invaded or flooded with a bunch of military aged, more basically teenagers, more men, more as in Morocco. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Good heavens.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
Increíble la situación.
Look at this, dude. This is crazy. What the hell? Reconquista round 2.
Increíble la situación ahora mismo, señores.
Okay, so this is no time for tremulous pussies, all right? But as much as I don't want to be defeatist, this really is it. I feel, and I don't mean that in a defeatist way, actually, but this is it.
Crazy.
This is our moment. I think our generation. I'm going to be very careful about what I say, but for those of you who don't know what those images were, I don't know the.
This guy lives in Spain, by the way. He's a channel that I watch. He does comedy videos, satire, where he just stands here in front of a camera, or in front of a camera in his living room. It's the same background or same video every time, but he's funny. And then I seen this one, and lo and behold, it's not funny this time, and just kind of showing people Spain from the inside the trenches, basically.
Word for it, but it's certainly unprecedented. I haven't seen anything like this before. So over the last day or so in Spain, suddenly out of nowhere, tens of thousands of Moroccans and Algerians
Wow. What's up there, J-Boss? Welcome. Can you guys hear this or no? What the hell? Oh, I see it. I gotta restart it. Bitch.
200 a minute. I've counted them as 200 a minute.
Llegar a lo que... Mira, lo que he podido contar es que cada minuto están entrando por esta puerta 200 personas. Esto es de verdad, estos son datos reales, estos son datos contados por mí ahora mismo.
200
he contabilizado
personas por minuto.
200 personas por minuto están entrando por esta puerta a Ceuta.
2.000 a los 10 minutos, 4.000 a los 20, 6.000 cada media hora. Llevamos desde las 10:30 en directo. Llevamos de las 10:30 en directo, son más de 2 horas. Más de 2 horas. Estamos hablando de 30.000, 40.000 personas en lo que llevamos de programa.
So if you didn't catch that, the presenter in the studio there in his horror, his disbelieving horror, has done the maths and worked out that since they've been on air, about 30 to 40,000 new neighbours have come across the border.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's literally,
That's
thousands
crazy.
and thousands and thousands pouring into the country. I think there's a word for that. Not a single woman, not a single child.
Por tanto, ¿qué haces?
Mirad la imagen.
No,
Mirad,
mira.
¿eso qué es? ¿Eso qué es?
What would you call that? I can't think of the word, right?
Invasion.
The president's refusing to send the military in because, well, it's probably a welcome distraction. He wouldn't want to stamp this out so quickly, what with his wife having her passport taken off her for trafficking influences in the presidential palace, his brother on trial for corruption, all of his cabinet suspected of corruption, a couple of his closest members of the government, Avalos and a couple of others, have gone to prison for many years for dodgy dealings. I mean, the worst kind of dodgy dealings: coke, prostitutes, laundering all kinds of illicit, ill-begotten gains. So yeah, maybe, this guy might have an ulterior motive. We don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm just saying this guy might be a literal vampire, right? But I don't know. I'm just positive. It could be. I could have the complete wrong end of the stick. The only thing I know is I just worry a little bit what all these lads on tour are going to get up to. Now that once they reach mainland Europe, I'm sure some of them are here already. I'm sure they can't fit all of them in Spain. They're going to head to France. They're going to head to England probably. A lot of them will stay here. I don't know what they're going to get.
How is that legal? Like, how is Spain just able to sort of take it on their own initiative that they're going to bring, or they're going to let a bunch of Africans come through and do this come one, come all thing? And there's no borders once you get inside the EU, basically, from what I understand. How can they just do that? That would be like, well, I suppose California's does the same thing. They like hold us while people are streaming in the door. They're holding back the security while the police is waving in, come one, come all, waving in a bunch of new neighbors, like he said. Quickly deport these people. I can't remember the exact name of the decision, so it's fine. That's sounds, like a good thing, but it's not going to stop that. That's not good, man. Like, that kind of a wave, bro, it looks like some apocalypse movie or some sort of like an epic or something where a civilization just collapses. Like, seriously, I was totally getting those vibes from that. It's as though this, like, maybe this could be the end, Like, I don't think people ever see these sort of collapses coming. Oh shit, it's frozen. Sorry. It's like these collapses, people don't see them coming. It's like people expect it, but they don't actually, like, they vaguely expect it. They don't actually know when it's right before I think a lot of things are that way, where people, they think they have a really good nose for something, and it's like it could slap them right in the face, and they would miss it. I mean, that to me, that's kind of an observation of mine. Like, I was just thinking about this not too long ago. Like, last week.
Up to, seeing as they've left their wives and kids and everyone else at home. You know, it feels like, why don't we ask them why they're here? Like, it'd be good to hear it from the horse's mouth. Let's find out what their motives are, eh?
Zodiac, pero vamos a ver, esto ya lo vimos en el año 2021.
Mira.
Esto no lo hemos visto en la
Por
vida.
favor,
Hemos visto
Javi
que
Jiménez.
entraron 20.000
Javi, por favor, tengo un reportero allí. Javi.
Sí.
Javi.
Ali, ¿por qué no te quedas en Marruecos?
This is fucking amazing. I'll translate for you on the fly here. The reporter said to this fine young Maghrebi gentleman, Ali, why don't you stay in Morocco?
Ali, ¿por qué no te quedas en Marruecos? ¿Por qué decides venir a España?
Ya, yo vine a España porque quiero cambiar la vida, ¿sabes?
Okay, so far so good. Very entrepreneurial of Ali. He said, I want to come Spain to change life, you know? So amazing. I wonder why. What was wrong with your life in Morocco, Ali?
Tengo problemas a Marruecos, no quiero volver a Marruecos.
¿Qué problemas?
¿Qué problemas tienes en Marruecos? ¿Qué
Tengo
te pasa?
problemas que la gente con una colega que muerte, yo no.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound so promising. So, I'll translate literally. He goes, I have problem in Morocco. I don't want to go back Morocco. And the reporter says, what problems do you have, Ali? And then in his very broken Spanish, he says, problems with people. Problems with friend. Death. Oh, fuck. I'm sure he'll clear it all up. I know it. Death. Immediately alarm bells go off when he's talking about dead friends and stuff. I'm sure it was just a bereavement in the family. You know, he's looking, he wants to move on with his life, right?
No puede sentar ahí porque hablar cosas no buenas para mí, ¿sabes? Puedes morir una persona y yo o la otra persona, ¿sabes?
Okay, Ali, this is sounding a bit vague, a bit evasive. You're an old hand at this game, I see. He's again, I'll translate literally, his broken...
Wow. Damn it.
Everyone around you in imminent danger. Why is the sense of doom around? If you stay in Morocco, everyone could die. That doesn't sound good. I'm just saying, if you're looking to get hired in Spain or like rent a house or something, they're going to be suspicious. First of all, the broken Spanish isn't helping anyone. But then all the death. The death is a concern.
Por eso yo vine.
¿Tenías trabajo? ¿Te faltaba trabajo? ¿Tu
Ya,
familia?
yo tengo trabajo bueno, yo trabajar a la playa, yo ayudar a la gente que no sabes nadar, muchas cosas ahí.
Ali, perdona, cuando hablas de problemas, ¿te refieres a problemas que tenías con la policía? ¿La policía te hizo algo allí?
Ya, con la gente, mucha gente a Marruecos, ¿sabes? Peligroso, ¿sabes?
Es peligroso.
Ya, por eso yo sale.
Okay, that interview with poor old Ali there has descended into chaos, I'm afraid. I think he was trying to tell us that he was some sort of lifeguard in Morocco, if you can believe such a thing exists there. He was a lifeguard in Morocco, and people are dying or have died. He'll make a fine melon picker in Almeria or somewhere like that. The only problem is 40,000 melon pickers a day. We're going to have too many melon pickers and too few melons to pick.
Vemos en estos momentos cómo se está llegando a la playa una embarcación. No sé si tenéis
De la Guardia Civil.
que yo.
Losing his mind, the presenter there. And right.
Hang on, I just need to restart these. had to restart that program. It was just awfully laggy. Yeah, that stuff looks rough, though. Not gonna lie. I kind of feel bad for you guys in Spain.
Draw your own conclusions. This feels very much like, look, maybe we've had it too easy, too good for too long, right? Previous generations had the world wars and Vietnam and whatever. And look, maybe this is our cross to bear. Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe it's going to be great. You know, who knows? Do you want to meet another one of the fine young men who are coming into Spain?
Yo subí con 10 años y me expulsaron de Holanda y ahora vuelvo aquí. Porque yo también he cogido la nacionalidad en Barcelona.
¿Por qué le echaron
Por desgracia me pasó
nacionalidad a
un
Barcelona?
problema.
So this young gentleman is explaining to the reporter how he was thrown
Why is it that, it's like I think of a question, or I start asking a question that's kind of easy to answer the question, why is this happening? Just honestly, why? Oh, shit. Fucker. 1 second. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me just let it play for a second longer. Fuck it.
Un problema. ¿Me entiendes?
¿Qué,
Un
qué tipo
problema
de
familiar.
problema familiar?
Sí. Y me hicieron una oferta. Me dijeron, ¿te entras a la cárcel?
Cuidado, por favor.
Sí. Me dijeron, entras en la cárcel durante 5 años o abandonas la nacionalidad y bajas a Marruecos.
Well, I'll hand it to this guy. He speaks better Spanish than old Ali, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, because when asked why he was deported from Holland, he said, unfortunately, something tragic happened. And the reporter, in all his naivete, says, what, in your family? A family tragedy? And he goes, yeah. So anyway, they said I could go to prison for 5 years or sod off back to Morocco. And now he's here.
Yo bajé a Marruecos, ¿me entiendes? Encima yo llevo una enfermedad muy grave, ¿me entiendes o no? Llevo hepatitis C.
¿Cuál es tu hepatitis C?
Enfermedad hepatitis C. En Marruecos es incurable.
Fucking hell. It just gets better and better.
Why the hell is this happening? And it keeps happening. That's what's crazy. Europe has been reeling from the first time this happened. And it's like, they gave you guys a couple years to deal with it. And then you get another wave. And what is spurring this? These people didn't just wake up that day and say, I feel like going to Europe. It's kind of scary. And we have absolutely no control over this stuff. At least that's how it looks. Like, yeah, we have no control. We can't even complain about it, especially in Europe. They get thrown in jail if you have anything to say about it at all.
And he says, unfortunately, I also have a grave illness, hepatitis C, which in Morocco is incurable. He's got a highly infectious blood disease, and
Dude.
And a criminal record, which I don't think
That's
we even want to
crazy.
know. Well, clearly we don't want to know. We don't want to know anything. Come one, come all. Who cares? Your names, your documents, fuck it.
De la Guardia Civil, que como veis no cabe una persona más.
Rescatando a
Está
gente que se ahogaba.
llena de personas. Vemos también rescatando a gente que lo estaría pasando, que estaría...
Images now on screen, aren't we, of those images there? Spanish territory, Dean Morgan. These are migrants who we understand some have swum across into this Spanish territory. Others are running down the beaches. What do you make of that? And is there a chance they might be able to get to the UK, I suppose, through small boat crossings? I mean, because they can't cross legally, I suppose.
Holy shit.
Well, no, because they would have to go to the British High Commission or embassy, submit an online application and pay a fortune, to enter the UK legally.
Does anybody believe that at all, that they have to pay a fortune and it's hard for them to get to England? That strikes me as wishful thinking.
So, I mean, obviously, if they're breaking into Spanish territory, it kind of suggests what would happen next.
If you guys notice, not one woman, not one child. How does that happen? What spurs this? What inspires this?
I mean, obviously, this situation is only getting worse over the last few decades. And you raise a really good point about the European Human Rights Convention. I mean, if we go back in history, Tony Blair enshrined that, if I'm not mistaken, into British law. And we were the only EU member state that had actually done that. Now, his wife was one of the most preeminent human rights lawyers at the time, and I'm not suggesting any impropriety. Having said that, obviously she benefited greatly from it. So why are we still, part of these legal framework? When we had Brexit, the British people were told that all of this would come to an end and we would have jurisdiction over our own laws and our own territory. So why can't Parliament change the law? Why can't the Lords ratify that? We're not part of Europe anymore. Sorry, I don't understand what legally is stopping us from doing whatever's necessary.
But the point is, we do have power over laws. It's up to Parliament to repeal laws which give powers to judges to stop the migrants being deported.
It's such a cop-out. It's not just a cop-out. That seems almost criminal to me. Like, this is the establishment sort of putting its knee on your neck while you're invaded. And this this news anchor, he's doing his part. It's an admirable effort he's making on behalf of the bureaucrats of the EU, the bureaucrats of the West. Like I said about the people that come here from Mexico and South America. Dang it. Of course. Huh. Yeah, they don't just come out of nowhere. Oh, wow. Thank you, J-Boss. Good looking out. Man, like, how... in South America, they're told, it's like in the old days, like in the 19th, 20th century, they would send out operators. They would send out spies, basically, or rabble rousers that would go into crowds and stir stuff up or hand out pamphlets, cause trouble, get a lynch mob up or get a violent mob worked up. And like, I feel like that's what's being done. Like, how do these people all come over at the same time? That's crazy. People, they don't just do that on their own. They don't. There's no way. They're being spurred. Somebody is telling these people when to come, what to say. And they do it here too. They do the same thing. like it's a damn shame that we don't have an actual media that's on our side, like that does investigative journalism and find out what the hell is causing these people to just pull up stakes or just show up. Like just showing up. I don't get it. It's mind-boggling. You know, it beggars the mind. Huh, really?
Again, all the powers are in the hands of our elected leaders. That's what Brexit was about. But is the will there within Labour, the Tories, or Reform, or whichever party, Lib Dems, to deal with this crisis once and for all?
They're not dealing with it at all. It's the same thing here with our
Draw
Senate
your own
and stuff.
conclusions.
We give them the power and then they don't do it. And you know, that's definitely their stratagem. We give them the power and there's this big push, like with Brexit. You know, that people came, they showed up, they showed out, they voted to leave the EU. But that may as well have never happened. It may as well have never happened because it's as though it didn't happen. They're still, it's like their government is just playing possum. It's playing dead. They don't lift a hand. They don't lift a finger to stop this stuff. And we do it here too, where we vote or we do something and put the people in the position to fix it, the leaders in the position. And then there's always some slick excuse, or they do it like this, where they just kind of stand there. Oh, golly. You know, they just kind of stand there with their hands up. There's nothing we can do. What are we and it's like, bro, you're literally in the position. We put you there. You swore that, and they don't do a damn thing. And that's what they do is it's like it's to buy time. You know, they don't really, they might put up a little resistance for something like EU, but it happens. And then they just pretend like it doesn't happen. Like same thing with Trump. Oh, we're going to build a wall and this, that, and the other. We vote him into office and then it never materializes. Everything is that way. Anything that would actually change the status quo, that's how they play it. Nothing changes every time. Every time they do that.
Feels very much like, look, maybe we've had it too easy, too good for too long, right? Previous generations had the World Wars and Vietnam and whatever. And look, maybe this is our cross to bear. Maybe...
And it is, it looks like.
Or maybe not. Maybe it's going to be great. You know? Who knows? Do you want to meet another one of the fine young men who are coming into Spain?
Yo subí con 10 años y me expulsaron de Holanda y ahora vuelvo aquí. Porque yo también he cogido la nacionalidad en Barcelona.
¿Por qué le echaron
Por desgracia me pasó
nacionalidad a
un
Barcelona?
So this young gentleman is explaining to the reporter how he was thrown out, deported from Holland.
Problema. Miren al escucha, es que hoy Ceuta peta. Es que el gobierno no da ninguna respuesta, por favor. ¿Me podéis decir si hemos llamado a los ministerios y qué nos están diciendo?
Yeah, rightfully so. The presenter's losing his goddamn mind. He's like, call the ministries.
Hey, at least that presenter it feels that, or looks as though he feels the same way we do. Because that other asshole, the English guy, the anchor, he couldn't care less. It's like he's happy about it. But like, that's not, you know, usually there's some liberal at the anchor position who's like cheering it on.
What's going on? What's the response? There is no response. They don't give a fuck. They hate the unwashed, the great unwashed. They despise all of us, you know. There's a large amount, a large percentage of politicians. I think the vast majority of politicians.
Not only do they look at us as if we're peasants, but they look at us as though we're peasants, but also as though we're no good. God dang it. It's like they look at us as though we're no good. You know, like we have we're supposed to do something for them. You know, we're supposed to have kids, cannon fodder for them. We're supposed to pay our taxes and do it without a complaint. And our population is basically shrinking. And like, so when they look and talk to us, they have this utter contempt. You know, it's not just peasants. It's lazy peasants that are always complaining or always asking for something else. You know, always asking for like what? Politicians to actually represent us. And they're just really like, remember Trump? You guys are still on that Epstein stuff? Jeez, get out, give me a break.
Just sort of narcissistic, self-interested knobheads. But there's a particularly evil brand of politician that I've only been aware of, I think, for the last sort of 6 or 7 years. You know, they really, it's like they want to decimate their own people. It's like that. They don't. Seriously. Probably. That's a mental thing to say. That's what some crazy conspiracist would say. Conspiracy theorist would say. Right? Not me.
Question: how many of you agree that the punishments described in the Quran and the Sunnah, whether it is death, whether it is stoning for adultery, whatever it is, if it is from Allah and His Messenger, that is the best punishment ever possible for humankind, and that is what we should apply in the world? Who agrees with that? Allahu Akbar. Are you all radical Akbar. Extremists?
Holy shit.
Yeah, well, getting a stoning might be preferable at this point. No, hang on. Let's put things into perspective. Hey, first of all, this is Spain. Okay, they might be, you know, a little bit disorganized, a little bit, what's the word? Tardy, a little bit impunctual, right? But they beat Napoleon back. What else did they do? They did other stuff at some point in history. Oh yeah, where I live right now, statues everywhere of King Pelagius or Rey Pelayo. Yeah, this is Asturias. This is Spain. The rest of the rest is what do they call it? Conquered land. This is where the Reconquista began. Right,
which is crazy.
Asturias, at the Battle of Covadonga.
If that's true, that's crazy. Because that's why I said before, this is literally Reconquista Act 2. You know, Act 2. I mean, it was French, but, you know, what is it, Part 2? Was the Hot Shots Part 2 with Charlie Sheen and stuff. But it's like it's happening a second time. And we have our hands tied behind our back by our politicians, by our government. Our government's literally in the opposite position, or they have the opposite position versus the first Reconquista. Now they're actively restraining us from repelling or complaining about these people. It's crazy. What the hell, man? Like, how is this acceptable? They want these people to come, so they're holding us back and threatening us with jail if we have anything to say. You notice he didn't say this is an invasion because they'll throw him in jail. He lives in Spain. They will throw his ass in jail if he says anything about it on here.
When they fought back the Moors. It took a few centuries, but they got there in the end, is the point. We're not at war with the Moors yet.
The problem is, though, is it's like those guys were willing to do what was necessary to get the job done. I don't know about these politicians and these like liberals. I don't know about them. And you know, we lost the Crusades was a failed basically conquest, but like we won the Reconquista, and that just kind of shows you the difference that fighting on home turf makes. Fighting for your own survival. I mean, you can't fail. If you fail, I mean, the Spaniards back in the Reconquista, El Cid and stuff, they surmounted some quite gnarly odds. Like the hour was late for them. They had almost been wiped off that peninsula. But they came back, got the job done. They were willing to do what was necessary. Like, distasteful as it may have been, they still got, like, and the Spanish Inquisition, I remember the Monty Python. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. But it wasn't even that bad. Basically, they would not tolerate other religions in the Iberian Peninsula. You either had to convert or leave. Or, I mean, I'm sure there was a third option of putting them to death. I'm sure that was used, but I don't think they really tortured a whole lot of people. Like, you always hear how the Spanish Inquisition was like some really barbaric thing. No, they were kicking a bunch of foreign invaders out of their country. And they like Jays, that's why I think the Reconquista got a bad name, because you either converted or you had to go. And honestly, I think that's extremely reasonable. And they did that back then. We can totally do it now. Like there is a blueprint for this, actually. You know, Spaniards did this. And shoot, even the Austrians did it. You know, they repelled the Turks, not the Moors, but the Turks.
All right. The Berbers are at the gate.
They are, literally.
And, you know, there's quite a lot of them. So, I don't know. I don't know what to prescribe. I don't know what people are going to do. I've got a few ideas, but they're crazy. I wouldn't dare tell you what they are.
It makes you want to cry. Like, that's so, and there's we get no respite from this. And we all know what's going to happen. You hope, we don't even hope that the borders will repel them. I mean, it got that way here in the States too. People were coming over that border, and it got so as you didn't want to see it anymore. It was like you wanted to be an ostrich, put it out of your mind. Because that's what I'm saying, Q. It's crazy. This is such a demoralizing thing to see. It feels like you're already defeated.
So the US is bombing Iran to shit. Russia has allegedly dropped a bomb on Poland, accidentally, probably. And the Iberian Peninsula is not being invaded, but some might describe what looks like, a little bit resembles a land invasion. You know,
Q.
some would call this the
Same
perfect
here.
storm. God knows what's going to happen. I hope tomorrow I can make a video about something less absolutely fucking horrendous.
Screwed.
But who knows? It might be more horrendous. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting.
You could say that again. You could say that again. Like, I can't even believe that. How is this not on the news everywhere? Isn't that odd? That you don't see this anywhere. Not here in the States anyway. I mean, how is that possible? This is not good. Like, that's not good. And nobody's going to pretend that is a good thing. All males, they can't pretend. Like, I don't want to hear boo-hooing by the liberals about how they're downtrodden, you know, the masses, the people. No, man. Are you shitting me? That's bullshit. That's total bullshit. They're all men. They're all men. Where are the women? Like, are they coming next? Is that what the hell is happening? Excuse me. I mean, I can't even believe it. Like, let's see. I want to see how much of it is wrong. I put in Iberian, but not realizing that would pull up some old stuff. Dude, they're running like madmen. They look crazed. Like, that's so scary because they're running with glee. With glee. What is in their mind? What are they so happy about? That's so scary. That's so scary. It's like this is the culmination of something here. Like, what the hell is going on, man? This is totally insane. Bro, how is this just happening, man? Like, how is this just happening? I can't believe what I'm seeing here. I wasn't paying attention the last invasion. I wasn't paying as much attention. I mean, I don't know what I was doing, but I didn't see it all live. I saw a little bit here in the States, but not what happened to Europe live. Dude. What in the hell is going on? You know, I agree with you there, Q.
World News Madrid.
But it's like, is it right of us to equivocate like that? Like, don't these people kind of deserve our animosity? The people who put them up to it and the people who are doing it. I think they both equally deserve our animosity. I get the feeling anyway. I mean, that's how, like, I think it's that would be letting them off the hook if you just, I know it's not their, they're not the reason. Or no, I think these people, like, they deserve our enmity. They don't deserve our respect. Fuck these people.
Deploying military units to its border with Morocco in an effort to restore.
Good for Madrid. Good for Madrid, man.
Border after thousands of migrants streamed into the tiny Spanish territory of Ceuta. Local authorities had asked the government for reinforcements to manage a worsening.
I think honor to that. I think there's only the honor of Allah and the honor of their women. I think honestly, and if they do have honor, it's honor for their people, because these civilizations, they're very tribal, and they have different customs, different standards. And these people, they don't, just like Somalians, just like a lot of people, Bangladeshis, Pakistani, they have an in-group, or they're, like I said, they're tribal, and it's in their society, you only care what your own people think. They don't give a shit what we think. They don't care if they do something that's shameful in Western culture. They do not care. I mean, I've realized that from watching English videos. These people, they have their honor. They take it deathly serious, especially for their women. I forget what they call it. There's a name for it, especially in the Pakistan or Bangladeshis have a name. But it's the honor. They protect the honor, or they have honor for their women, but they have honor for God and honor for their women. And it's because they care about what those people think, and they care about what they do or what God sees. But they care about their women and a couple of things, but they do not give a damn about, they don't give a hoot in hell what we think or what we have to say. They don't give a hoot in hell. As far as they're concerned, they're doing right if we're pissed off, if we're scared. They're doing their duty, their sacred spiritual duty as far as their religion sees it.
Crisis that boiled over when large crowds breached the Spanish border. Well, let's cross live now.
Bro, they breached the border? You mean that? I mean, like, that's crazy. They breached the border. How is that possible? How is that possible, man? Like, dude, this border was once impregnable. How is it, like, there's no doubt in my mind that it's probably still, but look at the background here. This is all to stop invasions by armies and stuff. How is it just letting a bunch of fucking shirtless men come right through it? Would they have let this happen if those guys were carrying M16s like in an army in uniform? If they were coming here overtly to take over, would they stop it or what? Or would they just let them roll through? Like, bro, what the hell is going on, man? This is crazy.
Correspondent in Madrid, Sarah Morris, has been following developments for us. Sarah, as we say, military units being deployed. We're also hearing that 9 migrants died trying to reach the exclave. What is the very latest?
That's right. Police sources saying that 9 bodies were found that did not make it in this mass movement over the border. The numbers that tried to cross are in the thousands, and some of the Spanish media, like El Mundo,
Nobody cares that people have died. As far as the left, you know, they don't care as long as people are coming through the borders. They don't care if people die, unless they can use it to attack people that are against it. Then they will care about somebody dying on the way, but they don't care so far as, you know, enough. They don't care enough to tell them not to come. It's dangerous. No, hell no. So if they're not going to warn these people or stop them or lift a finger or even notice it, what makes anybody think that there's people that care? You know, like, they're glad, they're happy this is happening. They're not going to stop it. Hell no. Are you kidding me? Nobody, people are, it's as if nobody has died. As far as I can see, everybody's like, no, this is great. You know, we got this stampede of military-aged men coming into Spain. This is fantastic news. What the hell, man? I'm sure we'll get our wave in short order.
quoting sources saying that there's 20,000. We'd earlier thought it was between 2,000 to 3,000. Numbers that this enclave, that is Spanish territory in North Africa, can't cope with, because there's only 85,000 or so residents, and the reception.
Why doesn't Spain just take, and it sounds like they tried to do this, where they make the other side of the border like Spain. You know, invade the other side, get a buffer like Israel, right? Isn't that a good idea? If these people want to live in Spain so bad, why don't they give up some of their freaking land? Let Spain come make a little Spain in Africa there. I'm just talking about a few, maybe 10 square miles, 20. You know what I mean? Just, if that's what they want, then do it over in their country. Yeah, Poland, they are the only one. And they're proactive about it. And they'll say it.
Process migrants doesn't have anywhere like the numbers that we're seeing coming through. The army will be deployed to help boost security in Ceuta, and the government sources are saying that they will be sending those necessary to maintain security, and they're talking about also
necessary to facilitate the invasion. They're going to go facilitate the invasion. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to stop it. Those guys are literally being deployed so that they can, you know, kind of watch the turnstiles, as it were. And that's what I mean about the government. It's like, you don't know, none of us even expect them to do anything. If anything, I expect them to do nothing or help and facilitate this invasion. It's insane.
boosting the Guardia Civil, the civil guard, adding extra platoons, immediately and in the coming days from local areas like Andalusia. We could say as many as 90 extra Guardia Civil officers arrive with 2 groups of divers. There'll also be a naval ship deployed.
This is insane.
And a helicopter. And Brussels has offered help from the Frontex security force to help process anybody that may be eligible for.
It's the fact that, like I said, they're facilitating it, and the fact that that rings true is an utter indictment of our leaders. The fact that you guys are like, yeah, that sounds about right, actually, well said. That's like, bro, and does am I wrong? Like, I'm sure you guys agree with it. Like, bro, that's what they're not going to stop it. They're going to facilitate. They're going to facilitate it by making it orderly. They're going to, they're going to get them walking in single file, but they're not going to stop them. Hell no.
Asylum, obviously desperate migrants trying to get through the border to not just Spanish territory but European territory, and we have.
Bro, when the EU was ratified and they all the European nations got rid of borders, that was a black day in history. That was a seriously black day in history. Did anybody see this coming? Oh, that if we get rid of our internal borders, then we'll be naked. We'll be naked to invasion. Damn.
Sources saying to the Reuters that Italy
What a
intends to
black day.
look at suspending the Schengen, its application.
The guy's
of
got a
Schengen,
wetsuit on. What the hell is going on here?
the Schengen zone. So extremely concerned for the Spanish Prime Minister will want to show that he is taking immediate action.
And he's already coming under pressure here, isn't he, Sarah? Right-wing parties have been critical of Spain's pro-immigration policies more generally, arguing that they're attracting.
This isn't
more
immigration.
migrants
This
to
is
the
an
country.
invasion.
What are they saying now?
Yeah, we know, Robin.
That's right.
I mean, as soon as I saw this, I was thinking, oh, so we'll be getting our wave here shortly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, GQ. Yeah, they help. That's what they do. They don't stop it. They facilitate. They make sure that more people make it in. They save people from being trampled. It's like they make sure that less people die on the trip so that more come, more get here.
They will say many are.
This didn't just start out of nowhere. These people didn't just wake up one day and decide to go to Spain. These people were told that get while the getting is good. We'll let you in. Come on through. You know, we've got things staked out for you and everything. Come on through. And it's probably not just Spain. Spain is just the one that has to take one for the team. Spain gets, they look bad. The rest of the EU is going to hate them. But will there be anything that anybody in Europe can do about this? Can they stop these people from coming? No. So Spain and their president, it sounds like he's already screwed. He's corrupt. His whole family has got their hands in some corrupt business, crooked business. And they're like, well, he's already screwed. So let's get him to do this because people already hate his guts. He's already going down. If he does this, if he takes this dive for us, we'll let him off. Watch, this guy will get away scot-free. Watch. They'll everything will be forgiven because he did this for the establishment. He just let a bunch of scum come over that border. Took one for the team, because none of the other politicians want to take the risk. They like being a nameless, faceless bureaucrat. And he takes this guy who's such a corrupt piece of right. And like this almost feels like the FIFA, Spain winning the FIFA. That's like, maybe that was totally rigged. And you've seen the one clips where they were running through the streets like it was the running of the bulls. with their arms up in the air. Ah! I mean, screaming, yelling with glee, with glee. Why are they gleefully doing this? And like, what have they been dreaming of for this moment? Like, I'm sure it's looting, robbing, raping, pillaging, invading. Generally, the definition of invading, conquering, conquest.
The Spanish writer saying that this proves them absolutely right. About 500,000 migrants are going to be granted an amnesty. The deadline has expired and the government is still processing those applications. And the right wing said that that would attract more paperless migrants to come through to Spain. We've already seen the Conservative opposition saying that the Spanish Prime Minister has to step up soon. He has to take action. And we know that the far-right party of Vox will be
or what?
using
What are they
this,
going to do? Let him off?
To say that this is a proof that the Spanish left-wing and socialist government's policies are not working. They use
are not working? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? You must be jesting. This policy right here is not a policy of amnesty. This is not a policy of boys will be boys or something like that. This is a policy of proactively bringing these people here, bringing them into Europe. Bro, this doesn't just happen on accident. No way. There's no way that this is an accident. The EU organized this. Come on. I mean, this is so organized. Like, dude, this is something is rotten in Denmark, that's for sure.
Inflammatory language. And the Spanish Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, will be going to Ceuta tomorrow. He'll be meeting with the PP government in Ceuta and meeting with the police services and the security forces to see what more can be done at this border.
Sarah, thanks so much for that update. That's our Madrid correspondent, Sarah Morris.
This is crazy. And I think, from what I understand, this is basically like the last 24 hours. What? Like, we're all, it's like we're screwed. They're not going to stop kicking us while we're down. We're drowning and they're standing on our head. Literally, we are drowning right now and these bastards have their foot on our head.
Mass immigration into Europe and North America has not even started yet. I've been saying it for a very
he already called North America.
It is about
He already called it. Bro, we already know what time it is. We already know what time it is. You know, Trump's probably like, yeah, may as well throw it open. I'm already screwed.
Yeah, unreal.
This is wild.
Look at this video right now. I'm going to put some stuff up here. I've got so many films to show you. This is like a zombie apocalypse movie.
Bro.
It's crazy. This is the Spanish enclave of Ceuta. Okay.
Good example.
Ceuta, if you're losing the Latin America. Analogy. I'm not brilliant at this. But either way, Spanish territory. And what we've seen today, and it's happened before as well, is Moroccan is the only land border that Europe has with Africa. Amazingly, the only land border. And so what we're seeing today is this massive influx of people from Morocco into Spanish territory. Let me show you some films. That's the border wall there. You can see them all coming across.
What
around the wall by
the
sea.
Hell?
Mad. I've got loads of videos that I'm going to show you on this. Lots of women and children there. Spot the women and children.
Right.
Spot the women and children. Anyone?
There's a ton of them.
Is that a girl?
Oh, I seen one girl, maybe up 2, 3, 4.
Amazing.
There was
I'm
4
gonna
girls
say that
in there.
I know this much about Spanish politics. Very little. I've read some stuff about it, obviously, today.
They're not sending over. Like, look at that guy. That guy is jacked. Oh man, this is crazy, bro. This is, I mean, this is truly scary, man. Like, what the hell is, and dude, not a peep about it on mainstream media. Not a peep. This is incredible.
But the Pedro Sanchez, the Prime Minister of Spain, obviously massively left-leaning, and their right-wing party, I believe, is called Vox, obviously labelled as far-right, of course, whenever you hear anyone talk about them. But Pedro Sanchez has said that the people coming into Ceuta at the moment are women and children, many of them malnourished. He said that. I
Whoa.
can't see anyone.
Women and children, and many of them are malnourished. That's what they're saying. That's what they're, the people that are coming over the border. Women and children and malnourished. Does that guy look fucking malnourished to you? That dude is a bruiser. This is criminal. Criminal.
Coming in there, apart from what we call military age fighting males. And I've said this for a long time, the mass immigration into Europe and into North America has not started yet. They've been warming us up, because if we'd had years upon years upon years upon years upon years of having 700, 800 people like coming over in boats a day, if we had gone back 20 years ago, and that was straight away, we would have risen up. We're not taking any of that. We'd have risen up. But now they've warmed us up. We're lukewarm to it. We've got jobs. We've got PCP and HP on car payments. We've got families. Yep. We've got kids in school. We are tied in mountains of debt. And that's why we can't do anything about it. Because
debt slaves.
They've been practicing cancel culture for a long time. You've seen what will happen to people if you stand up against this nonsense. Because as I said in the last video, and I keep telling you guys, the process is the punishment. They will take you to court for something you said, and at the last minute, they'll drop it. You would have lost your job. You won't be able to pay your mortgage. The wife's going to leave you. We know that, guys. How do we get over it?
They drag, the process is the punishment. They drag you through. They jerk you around. They hit you with a bunch of fines, you know, wring you out like a wet towel, and then let you go before everything goes down.
In the end, what we're going to do about it. Now, we're going to listen to the Donald as well, because the man does speak some sense. He does. I hate to say that, but he does. Listen. He's got a point, and that's why people get angry at me for pointing out things like, listen to the guy. He's got a point. The lady at the beginning, you can't hear it too well, but she just says that our Prime Minister, Andy Brent, I think it's Andy Burnham actually, but very similar to David Brent, has not mentioned immigration once since he's come in, because the man is a Marxist and he's a socialist. We all know that. He's a puppeteer. It doesn't matter that he's in government. It's Antonia Romeo who's running this whole thing. The queen of woke, hierarchy of the civil service. She is running everything, of course, and we know that is the case. It doesn't matter whether it's Labour, Lib Dems, Conservatives, Reform, Restore.
What horseshit.
Doesn't matter who gets in. We're going to get the same.
Every time.
Hasn't mentioned publicly migration at all since he's gone into number 10. Did you discuss it with him?
I did, briefly. He's going to have to mention it because it's killing your country.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
Killing you.
He won't talk to GB News.
He's killing your country.
He won't talk to him.
And not him. I mean, we'll have to see. I know Starmer did very little about it. And they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from South America. They're coming from different parts of Asia. And they're invading Europe.
Invading.
They're invading Europe. Right. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
Now,
what did we do to
Sanchez,
deserve
the Prime
this?
Minister, granted like legal citizenship to about 500,000 people, and now of course everyone else wants it. That's the problem with little Marxists, isn't it? They think that everything is for free.
You know how long it took to build up this civilization to make it something that people would want to come to? So much effort, hard work, blood, sweat, tears went into building up our civilization. And we're just we're watching it be picked apart, the bones picked clean by a bunch of savages, a bunch of savage piranhas picking a carcass clean. You remember Jordan Peterson talking about how Harvard was that? They called it this dead whale carcass, where it takes where an institution builds up, basically blubber, but it builds up its institution and over years and years and years, and then builds its prestige way up, and then they it's like they hollow out the, they get a lot of prestige like Harvard, and then it gets taken over by some communists or some scumbags who then trash it. But it doesn't, its reputation doesn't get trashed overnight. They slowly bilk it dry. Like a whale carcass, after a whale dies, it takes weeks of animals just ripping chunks off. It takes a long time to eat a blue whale. And it takes that blue whale, it's like 100 years to get that big. And then there's it can feed a hell of a lot of mouths. They can cannibalize it. That's what they did with Harvard. And it's like, they did that with Harvard as like a little test run. Now it's like they're cannibalizing the whole edifice of the Western civilization. It's almost like this is basically, it's like a hostile takeover, or what do they call it? Those firms that buy up struggling corporations, and then they start cutting it up into pieces and selling it off. There's, I think, Wall Street or those, there was a movie about a guy who did that. They buy up a struggling company and then they chop it up and sell it off. Like, that's like what's happening to us. They're breaking us up and just selling off all of our possessions and assets, selling, like, the fact that we're a high trust society. Yeah, it's like they're selling that. They don't really care that we have a high trust society. They're just going to bring in a bunch of low trust criminals until it equalizes, until we're the same, we'll have the same level of society as Africa, the whole world, the global South. And what's crazy is it's not going to raise and meet our society. No, they're going to drag our society down. They're going to drag it down. I mean, that's all we've been watching this. It's been like slow motion, watching a group of elites auction off everything that we hold dear, all these cultural, these prestigious cultural standards, and they're just it's requisitioning it and auctioning it off. What is it? Eminent domain, just snatching it out from under us, like pulling the rug. This is fucked, man.
Now we're going to listen to a minute of GB News as well. And what that lady was saying was that Andy Brent, our Prime Minister, will not talk to GB News. I mean, this is the kind of people we have in power. But before we do, we've got some notes up here about when this happened before with Theata. So May 2021, about 8,000 people entered that enclave. About 48 hours after Morocco relaxed border controls during a diplomatic dispute with Spain. It's on my screen here. 2022, 25, it's happened again. 2026, pressure have been building, 1,000 arrivals. And then today, they reckon about...
Fuck, man. And I'm sure there's not a peep of this on YouTube. But I'm sure that this has been building for months, if not years. Yeah, Gordon Gekko, exactly. Yeah. Imagine what it was like on the other side of that border for the last year. It's almost like a troop movement. It's like an army was amassed on that border. That's what happened. This doesn't just occur. They amassed like an army. They gathered people in one place and then all came over at the same time. This is, this is like this has strategy behind it. This isn't like just some half-assed willy-nilly throwing something up against the wall. Dude, this was totally coordinated. And the people that run Spain knew what the hell was going on. Dude, they know when a camel dies in these deserts, man. Our governments, the West, they watch these things all day, every day with satellite, with assets and spies. And they did nothing. And honestly, they probably prepared for this. They probably had like stand down orders. And like they said at the beginning of it, somebody said at the beginning of this that Iran is being bombed. So it's almost like this is coordinated. The Iran war gives these people cover as refugees, apparently, supposedly. And the gall for the news there in Spain to say that these are women and children in starvation, that look like they're starving, that are malnourished. Are you kidding?
3,000 people have come across. Now, I looked at Gibraltar, Gibraltar. Okay, that's a British part of. It's not part of the UK, but it's an overseas territory. Again, it's slightly different if people go into Gibraltar, guys, because they can be returned. They don't automatically get like some kind of. They get a chance to claim asylum like they do here in Ceuta, but they can be returned as well. But I think this is just an example. It's incredible. Why is it happening? Smuggling networks are trying to overpower, of course, the police there and everything else. Diplomatic relations between Spain and Morocco have been affected, apparently,
this is crazy,
by border enforcement. These events apparently are not typical. Most irregular arrivals in Ceuta arrive in much smaller numbers, but you can see now that they're just pushing these boundaries, aren't they? It's push, 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 push. Let's listen to GB News.
I mean, it's like, and they're keeping this under their hat too. This is happening super quietly. This is crazy, man. There almost nobody's talking about this. How is that how is that possible? The only people talking about, the Lotus Eaters talked about it today. The only people talking about it are people on the right. That period. That's it. This is so corrupt and crooked.
Quickly. GB News, I'm going to use 1 minute of you here. I will come on your program again, okay? Free love on the Free Love Highway, sharing the resources all around. I hope you don't sue me for using your content.
Yes, thousands of migrants here are storming Spanish territory. These are dramatic videos showing large crowds of mostly men, by the looks of things, overwhelming border guards in the enclave of Ceuta in northern Africa.
Well, that's one of two Spanish enclaves in northern Africa that, of course, are part of Spanish sovereign territory. And the idea of these migrants breaking into this part of Spanish sovereign territory, of course, is that then they will be able to make it to the mainland, where, of course, a significant amnesty program is underway.
Yeah, this is the only land border between the European Union and Africa. So as you can see, huge numbers of people just sort of breaking through. But Spain has had an interesting policy towards illegal migration. They've sort of decided that they're just going to approve people, haven't they?
Hundreds of thousands.
So it's hardly surprising that so many people are storming through the border there.
Now, we have to remember who's done this, of course. Remember Merkel in Germany also letting about 1 million migrants into Germany, didn't she? Overwhelming Germany. A fantastic country. English and the German.
Yeah, look at, like, I pulled it up on X. This is, oh, so it was on Fox at least.
All right, Sandra, this is reminiscent of kind of what we saw during the open border during the Biden administration through 2021, 2024, kind of similar to what we saw in Del Rio back in 2021. The socialist agenda, their platform literally says they want to abolish borders, abolish immigration enforcement, have complete freedom of movement. This is what it looks like in another country if they get what they want. Notice there is no resistance from the government whatsoever. These people are...
You know, and if things get bad, people are just going to pull up stakes and move out of Spain. What other choice do people have? You know, if these are criminals that start attacking people, and you know, the quality of life goes down, it's dangerous. Like, yeah, people are just going to pull up stakes and leave Spain. And you know, a lot of English people live there. A lot of people that aren't Spanish live there. They're going to haul out. It's like they're just going to see. That's probably what happens. They just like cede this whole peninsula and just get the hell out of there. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, honestly, because what other choice do you have? Even if you just complain about it, your government might fine you or throw you into jail. They've been doing that, and it's like they've been getting ready for this too. They've been cracking down really hard on this stuff, and it strikes me now that they were training people. You know, they were telling people what they couldn't get away with, and what was unacceptable. And they've been doing this for like the last year, I feel like, throwing anybody who says anything about, like in France and anybody who says anything about Muslims and foreigners and these people, they got like the book thrown at them. And that was to set an example so that these people can come right in totally unopposed. They're just going to stroll right into Europe and have the run of the place. They're not even lifting a finger here. They're trying to keep it quiet, honestly.
Coming in without any obstruction. And if people don't know, Spain has a very left-wing government. Earlier this year, they did a big amnesty program for over 1 million illegal immigrants living in the country. They had 1.3 million illegal immigrants apply for that amnesty program.
You're right there, Roxy. They totally, with COVID, like they did some stuff in COVID to make it easier to control us. You know, like whatever that was, it was totally a dry run. It was totally, you know, the state, the establishment laying down infrastructure. You know what I mean? It's like they were laying cables for the future or something. I mean, not literally, but like, you know, kind of figuratively, they were getting ready. They were seeding the ground for something.
Between April and June. So that's what we...
And I guarantee you that the people in charge, they know they have complete control with all this AI, the data center, and with COVID, they figured out some Skynet type thing, you know, a lockdown thing, so they can let in all the criminals they want, and they don't have to be scared of anything happening, because they know they have total control over everything. So whether, you know, civil unrest doesn't scare them anymore. They're cool with that. They know that they're not going to get hurt.
Pull factor, Sandra. They're looking for something like that. They know if they can just get their foot in the country, maybe someday that left-wing government will do another amnesty program. And you were just reading some of the wires. The locals want an emergency declaration. It sounds like
the ministry is saying no, they will not deploy military to the border.
Apparently, they don't think this is an I mean, look at this. This is a total free-for-all.
This is
it does feel like we are looking at a few years ago when you were reporting at the border here in the United States. This,
like, bro, how? And this has happened before. They're so determined to replace us. It's incredible. This is just crazy. And like I've been saying, this isn't an accident or coincidence. Dude, this is like an invasion, you know. For something like this to happen, like I said, you have to amass people. Like for an invasion, a military invasion, it takes a lot of preparation to make that happen, to make it work. A lot of preparation. And you have to amass the people on the border. You know, like troop movements and amassing troops. Dude, like, and I bet you this is it looks like it's just happening out of nowhere. I'd be willing to bet that a lot of money is behind this too. You know, that somebody spent money to make this happen. I'd be willing to bet that's the case. Huh. Jeez. Huh. Wow. Why is everybody just standing there? Holy crap. Dude, it looks like a horror movie. Or like, you ever seen like ants or like an ant mound? It just looks like a bunch of, dude, these guys, they're huge.
A lot of solidarity, but look what's happening in Spain. Just incredible.
Look at this guy here. This guy is huge. I mean, he's like, these people aren't starving. They're not women. They're not children. And they're not struggling. They all look, their hair is cut. You know, they have, like, this is crazy. This is a straight up invasion. These people aren't dirty. They don't look haggard. They look like they live in a city. And they all look well fed. They look like they don't even have a hard life. They look like a bunch of young hooligans, a bunch of young punks, but they're not young. They're like in their 20s. This is like an army. With like jerseys and stuff on, basketball. It's crazy. What the, bro? Dude, they have gold chains on their necks. Like, bro, they're doing better than I am. What the hell?
Terms of it seemingly being this cis heteropatriarchal, system is, I don't know, however we'd say that.
You know, she's so awkward, or whoever. They're so awkward. And every time I see her, it's like she's stuttering. She doesn't know what to say. It's really weird, man. I feel bad for her, of course. Wow. Italy vows to... Huh. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Simple as that. I'd be willing to bet that, just like with everything else, they're going to tell us what we want to hear. And then when it actually happens, when it actually goes down, they won't lift a finger either. That's what they all do. They act tough, talk tough, and then when it comes, the showdown arrives, and they have to, pony up. Yeah, like, they don't do a damn thing. And they just take, like Boris Johnson, he did the same thing. Like, those are the people that we get, no matter who we elect, they just roll over. They talk tough, and then when it comes to the showdown, they're not there. They don't show up ready to do what we hire them for. This is just wild. I can't stand all this AI. It's such garbage. Wow. Wow. They're already starting. I mean, if I see another one, then I'll say or think it's like, a legit invasion. This is probably just some idiot. And how isn't this on the front page, so to speak? Right? And they're literally all out having fun like nothing's happening. Oh, we just won FIFA. Yeah, and you're like being invaded. Women and children storm the border. Yeah, you see this guy. He's absolutely jacked. Oh yeah, he looks like he's been really suffering, you know, going without food. It's crazy. Oh, and that's what CNN was saying, huh? What the hell is that? Wow, tying rubber gloves full of hot water to people's hands so that they felt like somebody was holding their hand. Wow. That's pretty sickening. That's pretty sickening. This is just crazy though. And it's sort of quiet. Like, I'm surprised at how little they're talking about it. Like, there's my Twitter, of course there's people talking about it, but on CNN, is there? I don't think so.
Means swarm. It's a swarm attack, isn't it, in effect? I mean, and all these people. Remember I did that video, didn't I, about Iranian terrorism and Iranian terrorists coming into the country? We don't know who they are, where they are. I want to just leave you this real quickly. And that is how serious this is. And a lot of people don't realize.
Bro, check this out, man. Look at this, dude. Look at that woman. Wow. Not good, man. This is not good.
And I understand that. I'm not preaching to you guys. I mean, you watching my channel, of course you understand. You watch my channel and everything. We chat in the comments and all that kind of good stuff. And you go home and you look after your families and you're a stand-up guy because you're hitting the gym. And you try not to eat all those processed carbohydrates food that's going to make you like sleepy and everything else, all right? We're sticking to meat, fish, and vegetables, some fruit.
Man, I wonder if this is all like the Democrats, they probably win. At least, you know, they might win the next presidency too. And like, there's no doubt in my mind, this is, if it doesn't happen before that, it will certainly happen if they get any power. That will be the next shoe to drop, will be invasion from South America. That's exactly what, I mean, I could see it now. I could totally see it now.
All that kind of good stuff. We're trying to bin all that processed stuff, aren't we, really? Get rid of the sugar as best we can. Trying to get to sleep. Trying to work, you know, promisingly and ethically in our jobs. Trying to look after our families, bring in a solid wage as best we possibly can, and making sure that we step in when we see things in our country that are below the standards that are there of an Englishman, Scotsman, Welshman, and Irishman. And that's all we're saying. We've just got to back up and step up, guys. You know how it is. I keep talking about it. Book, plug here.
Wow.
5Fs, Fitness, Family, Finance, Fuel, and Faith. I wrote that.
Check this out. Holy crap. Oh, man. Like, bro, this looks like some post-apocalypse. It looks like one of those movies where the power's out and it's bedlam. It's bedlam because the power's out and people are scared. They're hiding. Man, they're just unimpeded. Nobody's they're not even coming across any resistance whatsoever. Like I said, it's like the running of the bulls. It's like the running of the bulls. Man, I can't believe this, dude. And like, you hear the radio there, it's like a movie, man, and nothing is happening. Nothing. They're just coming right over, man. Just coming right on through. Bro, this is tragic. Catastrophic, too. Like, what the hell, man? Bro, they're not going to lift a finger. And these people, they're going to be like a disease, man, spreading up through Europe. And shoot, I got J-Boss in here. I think Caravaggio, he was in here. Like Caravaggio, he's in the UK, and J-Boss, and I want to say somebody else is there as well. In Portugal or in Spain. I mean, bro. Oh man, like I actually know people that might, you know, J-Boss. Shoot, they could be seeing or experience. You know, within a week they could see migrants. You know, they might see migrants in their town or wherever they live. These people, they're gonna penetrate deep into Europe, into the heart of the European mainland.
El máquina de la semana.
Yeah, Alex, they're literally invading Spain right now. It's like it's a legit invasion, man. I think I heard 40,000 migrants are just pouring into Spain, and they're, you know, running, and just it's bedlam, and they're gleefully doing this. And these are fortifications you see here. These structures are meant to keep people out. These things are meant to repel an invasion. But they're not being repelled. Nobody's even trying to repel. You know, if this had happened in Europe 100 years before, these people would be totally repelled. Like Europe is a fortress. It was made into a fortress in World War II. Somehow it's been turned into a welcoming, you know, it's a welcome center. It's crazy. Oh wow, Steve Miller and what his reaction. You know, they're going to say Stephen Miller's freaking out, this and that, and tell us that the Republicans, and they're going to milk this. The Republicans won't stop it. What they'll do is they'll make hay on it. You know, they'll run on this. They'll campaign on this. And then we'll elect them, and they won't do a damn thing. We'll end up getting invaded anyway, and they will shove a bunch of crap down our throat with it. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, man. I mean, this is incredible. Germany leading worldwide in anti-Semitic attacks.
You're saying all nine are secure.
It is my testimony.
What does that have to do with anything? Jeez. Look, they've got bikes. Dude, this is going to be in no time at all. This whole country is going to be filled with bazaars and marketplaces. It's going to have garbage everywhere. These people, this is a plague of locusts. This is a plague of locusts, man. They're bringing bicycles. They're coming here to make Europe into Africa. Make no mistake, dude. That's what these dudes are here to do. I mean, that's what it looks like. Like these guys are just they're coming through to set up shop and make themselves right at home. Bicycles and shit. So they get into the country and then they ride away. Woo. See you guys.
El máquina de la semana. En bicicleta por el agua.
Bro, this was so totally coordinated. It's incredible. And all men. That's what makes it so galling. Like I'm pissed, man. I'm genuinely perturbed by this. How could you not be? How could you not be perturbed by this? Round 2 in Europe. Europe is literally, they've been reeling from the last round, the last batch of you know, new neighbors for Europeans. And already another plague of locusts is upon them. And will, in short order, be upon Americans too, I'm sure. And they're criminals too. Like that one guy, he's like, yeah, I got thrown out of the Netherlands. Yeah, they said either 5 years in jail or you can go back to Morocco. And look, he's right back in Europe. Right back. And this guy is I mean, obviously he's a serious criminal. That's crazy, man. And then they have the Iran war to plead. Oh yeah, we're refugees. These guys, they are ready to go. Like they're ready to cause terror. They're ready to, and they already have their buddies in Paris. Like think about, they already have friends to link up with. I see why they're laughing and why they're gleefully, charging in. I mean, they could totally form an army in Europe. Could you imagine if they all met up? They could absolutely form an army from the inside out. Take the whole thing over. I wonder if, oh wow, I wonder if Nick's going to talk about this tonight. Damn, I almost want to. You think I should throw it on? See what Nick has to say? I'm sure he'll be on shortly. Should I do it? I'm thinking I might do it. I might just keep going till Nick's on, and because I kind of do want to hear what he thinks. I mean, he always has a decent take when it comes to stuff like this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Crusades 2.0, bro. I pretty much, but it's more like the Reconquista Part 2. Act 2, Stage 2, or like when they repelled the Turks from Vienna. I mean, this is really this is not repelling an invasion. This is fighting a fifth column that is inside of your country, inside of your continent. They're already through the border. They're already through. They're now a fifth column. They're now a fifth column officially. Now I'm trying to find. Yeah, I was trying to find Telegram to see if he had if he's on at the moment. No, and he hasn't even posted anything about it today. Not that, or at least he didn't post any videos about it. He's posting stuff like pictures of Sneeko. What the hell? Yeah, last night he talked about the Anthony Fauci hearings. So he hasn't even talked about it yet. Nick hasn't talked about this at all yet. Well, it just happened today. This just happened today. That's what's crazy is this is like all kind of happening as we speak. Can you imagine the kind of bedlam that's going on in Spain right now? These people are out, they're already robbing and stealing. Yeah, of course he's posting pictures of it. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I said it's, oh my goodness. Allah Akbar. Wow. God help the Europeans. Seriously. God help the Europeans. The European people. Because there's no doubt in my mind who's behind this or who stands to lose because of this. I would imagine that the elites, that the president of Spain, they all have something to gain here. Yeah, you can. Yeah, they do look like they feel like they can do whatever they want. They're totally unimpeded. I that's baffling. It truly beggars the mind when you see these people. They're running through, and it's as though it's a festival. Like I said, like running of the bulls. This is big news. This is big news, man. Yeah, we all know what Europeans are capable of. I mean, and it's going to happen again. They did the Reconquista, the Crusades. They repelled the Turks from Vienna. Shoot, Vlad the Impaler. I think Dracula fought the Turks off. And then you had World War II with the camps. Like that's what Europe is capable of. Ethnic cleansing is totally on the table. I would imagine. But at the same time, they've been ceding the ground. The European officials here in America, but especially in Europe. Oh wow, they've been throwing people in jail who dare to talk about this, or dare to say anything negative about these refugees or immigrants. All of these fighting age men, they get thrown in jail. Yeah, they're trying to train the population not to complain. Try and train people, show them their place.
Madre mía, madre mía.
Hell, what? This is crazy. Have you ever seen? I wasn't really watching the last time. I can't believe it. That can't believe what I'm seeing. I mean, it gives you a sinking feeling. This is because it's already over. What's done is done. These people are there, and they're going to get to stay. I'm sure these people will be put up at hotels. They've been brought there by the leaders of the EU. Like I said, they had to have amassed these people on the edge of the border. These aren't the townsfolk and the village people from the villages just on the other side of the border. These are people that have been amassing on this border, getting ready to make a break for it, all in unison. This doesn't just happen. There's no, This is all coordinated, man. If you think it's not coordinated, you're a fool. You're a fool. To think that the government in Spain didn't know that this was coming, come on. This isn't a coincidence. they were bracing for this. I'm sure they were bracing for this.
¿Por qué no te quedas
This is
en
crazy.
Marruecos? ¿Por qué decides venir a España?
Ya, yo vine a España porque yo quiero cambiar la vida, ¿sabes? Tengo problemas en Marruecos, no quiero volver a Marruecos.
¿Qué problemas?
¿Qué problemas tienes en Marruecos? ¿Qué
Tengo
te pasa?
problemas que la gente con una colega que muerte, yo no puede sentar ahí porque hablar cosas no buenas para mí, ¿sabes? Puedes morir una persona y yo o la otra persona, ¿sabes? Por eso yo vine.
¿Tenías trabajo? ¿Te faltaba trabajo? ¿Tu
Ya,
familia?
yo tengo trabajo bueno, yo trabajar a la playa, yo ayudar a la gente que no sabes nadar.
Notice how nobody has anything to say whatsoever. There was that clip of that woman waving them in. People know better than to complain or to try and do anything about it, try to stop it. That's not a coincidence. Like, these people aren't just coming over. Were brought here. This has been made to look like they're coming on their own accord. There's no way that these people just decided or coordinated themselves and to do this.
Ali, perdona, cuando hablas de problemas, ¿te refieres a problemas que tenías con la policía? ¿La policía te hizo algo allí?
Ya, con la gente, mucha gente a Marruecos, ¿sabes? Peligroso, ¿sabes?
Ali, ¿por qué no te quedas en Marruecos? ¿Por qué decides venir a España?
Ya, yo vine a España porque quiero cambiar la vida.
I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it, but it's like, bro, how can they do this to us again? How can they do this? Dude, look at them with glee. They're gleefully doing this. They're like, bro, this is a whole nother generation too. That last generation, they were like millennials. This is a new crop. These kids are all Gen Z. Don't think that's a coincidence, dude. These kids are the replacements for the children that the boomers didn't have or that whoever didn't have. Am I wrong? Is that not, that makes perfect sense, dude. That these guys are here to make up for the because I'm sure the European elite, they are bean counters, and 30, 40, 50 years ago, they were calculating and they realized that they were going to have way less babies, or that their population was going to be way less than they thought, because I'm sure, during the baby boom and stuff, they probably thought that they would have a lot of people, the population bomb, quote unquote. And then it turns out, oh, wait a second. Yeah, we're not having babies. And this is the consequence. This is the conclusion that they reached. This has been a long time coming. And, we all thought that, oh, we're just going to shrink a little bit. We're going to have to make do. We're going to have to get through this. No. And it's like the businessmen, the politicians, they're hungry. They need cannon fodder. They need poor people. And their appetite for that, their appetite for profit knows no bounds. They are like sharks. And you can't reason with a shark. You cannot reason with a shark, man. That's what all of these big businesses and these bureaucrats, they're sharks, man. And we've been trying to reason with these people. And really, the bureaucrats, they're just the go-between between the business class and the corporate class and us. And the politicians are just marionettes. They're sharks in suits. And yeah, we can't deal with them because you can't deal with a shark. They eat you. They straight up eat you. And they're so hungry. And They know that we don't want to just roll over and work for free, work for slave wages. Well, we got to fix that somehow. We don't have robots yet. So they bring in a bunch of fighting age bodybuilders from Northern Africa. And they come streaming over the border, peace signs, rowdy, hooting and hollering.
You know,
crazy.
more and more people just coming through. This is absolute anarchy.
It's
chaos. This is what happens when you don't have strong borders, man. When you don't have strong borders, people just come in.
Bro, that's wishful thinking. This is what happens when you don't have strong borders. Bro, this is what happens when your bureaucracy, when your elites have decided to cannibalize you, to cannibalize your country and your assets. This is not what happens when your borders are weak. When your borders are weak, you still fight, you still defend them. Nothing is happening. There's a few journalists that are talking about it, and some of them are they seem happy about it, but they're all talking as if this is a foregone conclusion. You know, they knew this was coming, and now their job is to calm us down and get us to swallow it. These are the replacement bodies for all of the abortions, like somebody's just said in the chat. Yeah, this is what we get for all of the abortions. I mean, and people thought that was all free. What it was is selling the future out to selfish boomers selling us out, selfish people selling us out. Now we're getting overrun with low IQ animals, savages.
Abuse and use. This happened also when Biden was in office. You know, don't forget, guys. This happened when Biden was in office. People were, trying to come in and drove through the Mexican border. Anytime Democrats are in, this is what happens. Shit like this. The reality is Western Europe, man, in 20 to 30 years is going to be completely overtaken. It's going to be overtaken. The reality is that immigrants procreate and have significantly higher birth rates than a lot of the people from these countries, and they're just going to overtake. That's what's going to happen.
Actually, he's wrong. When people come to America, when people go to Europe, their birth rate drops dramatically. First generation immigrant women, yeah, they don't replace themselves. As soon as you come to our civilization, women don't have kids. It doesn't matter. They can bring in as many as they want. They don't reproduce when they get here. I'm not kidding. They don't. It's like we're like a desolate wasteland. Holy crap. Wow. Look at this asshole standing there. Some fat piece of scum standing in his stupid uniform with his thumb up his ass. Can you believe this shit? What the hell? You know, if we were smart, we would stand up and do something about this. We would stand up and right this wrong, but it's not going to happen. Guaranteed. We would throw these people out. Like, that's the only thing. I mean, and I've been withholding my judgment on Europe. A lot of people say, Europe it's lost this and that. And I was withholding judgment because they could have still done something, but I don't think anymore. I think this is all she wrote. This is not good. And they don't seem to have the will to repel them. They don't seem to have the will or even really the inclination to do anything but kind of just roll over and die. That's what it seems like to me. Like they're just taking it and rolling over and dying and allowing these another civilization to replace them. And really, we're no better. You know, we won't do anything. We'll complain and expect our government to do something, but if they don't, we'll just roll over and take it. You know, we don't have the stones to do what we have to. It's like we're already going down, you know, and just slowly this would be the nail in the coffin, and we wouldn't do anything about it. We would just take it and bitch and moan on the internet. Like that seems to be all anybody can do anymore is just complain on the internet. Nobody ever does anything. Nobody protests but the left. The lunatics on the left. And they protest when people try to get somebody out. When they try to, you know, deport people. This is not good. Like, and they'll do it here too. Like, yeah, basically we are kind of getting replaced. And it's like, yeah, we don't have the will or the inclination to survive anymore. And it would have been slower had this not happened. It would have taken a couple decades for us to just fade away. But basically, they're speeding it up. The people in charge are making it happen. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Question. It's like, you know, we talk and talk about stuff, but you never see anybody start getting serious, or you never see people start gathering. And I hate to say that, but it's like it's like we don't have it in us anymore. We expect an army to be there to do it, and they don't fight these kind of wars. They fight for the elites to go do conquests, foreign adventures, to go put a rebellion down, you know, go hunt up some savages in Afghanistan. But they don't repel people, and they certainly don't fight for us. They're mercenaries. They're literally mercenaries for our politicians. That's what we have as an army, pretty much. They report to the president. We know where his allegiance lies. It's crazy how this came to pass for Europeans, that our own government is sacrificing barbarians at the gate. Holy crap. Wow. That may as well be what's happening. That may as well be what's happening, man. Wow. Damn. This is so demoralizing. The Spanish bull, please wake up. That's a good meme for sure. Dude, this is wild. What do we do to deserve this, man? I guess, like, yeah, the abortions and stuff. I kind of want to see what. Oh wow, they're burning that flag. Oh, that's good. I thought that was I thought it was a flag, and those were the people when I saw it a few minutes ago. Yeah, that's true, Jay Boss. I mean, you know, I'm not black-pilled, but things just got a little bit darker for sure. things got a little bit darker today. The the odds that this gets fixed or rights itself, or the Europeans right this, or just went down. You know, we have them, and the hill we have to climb just got even more insurmountable. You know, I mean, we definitely, this is a blow. This is a blow to the West, a blow to European genetics. This is a blow, no doubt about it. And I feel like these people really have the spirit of conquest in them too. These Africans, they look like they're conquerors. Like, this is what the Viennese saw with the Turks when they fought them off. This is what the Spanish saw in the Reconquista. Like, these people have the air of conquest about them. They absolutely have the air of conquest. Like, they're men on a mission. Truly.
Day and night.
Wonder what he says.
Su new presidente, el señor Donaldo J.
Stupid. Man, look, they send out like Red Cross people to help them. Oh, there's a woman. There's one woman. And the whole bunch, one woman. That means they're gonna be looking to take you guys as women. They didn't bring their own. They're gonna try and take everybody, the women that are there. That's crazy, man.
Has done is often equate objection and concern about what the extremist government in Israel is doing in Gaza and in the Middle East with anti-Semitism. So let me be very clear. To oppose genocide in Gaza is not anti-Semitism.
Not
to oppose U.S. tax
Semitism. What a goofy son of a gun. I don't mind. I like him a lot more than I used to. At least, you know, he does say the stuff that I'm thinking sometimes, like, fucking crooks. I mean, he says that stuff. Wow. Destroying the flock cameras. As if that's going to do anything. Seriously, that's not going to do anything. Destroying flock cameras. Those things are, and you know, none of the infrastructure that we have is meant to help us. All of it was put up in case that we, you know, start doing something about it, in case we complain about it a little bit too loudly or rowdy. You know, like, that's probably what COVID was for, was them so that they could put in place infrastructure to put down rebellions. And that's not a word that we're really acquainted with nowadays. It was a word that was very, you know, worn out in the 19th century, 20th century. But in our lives, we haven't heard that very often. We're going to hear it in our lives going forward, I think. I think we're going to hear. Dude, they're climbing over, all this stuff is supposed to repel invasions. It's all, what do they call structure? You know, it's forget, basically it's fortified structures. They're meant to, all these concrete structures, they're meant to stop this. And these people, but they don't work unless people are guarding them. Nobody's guarding them, so these people just walk right through these obstructions. It's, dude.
Months ago, the president, the communist leader of Spain, said, we're legalizing 3 million North African, mainly Muslims, military-age men, 90+% commit mass crime. We're legalizing them, and anybody else that can get here is going to be legal from here on out.
Wow.
So literally hundreds of thousands a month
shit.
are hitting. This all happened just yesterday and is ongoing today. We'll play the Fox Newscast in a minute. But I noticed when I shot a report about this earlier, I was flooded with bots on X saying, I'm making it up, show my proof, this is AI, this is not real. Spain was invaded by the Moors, same people out of North Africa, conquered for 500 plus years. They took over 2 million women as slaves, sex slaves. La Reconquista took hundreds of years to retake Spain, then it expanded into the Middle East. The Crusades came out of the La Reconquista, the reconquering of Spain. So again, this is the left literally telling us none of this is happening when they're running the actual invasion. These are all military-age men. They are literally there to rape and kill and do whatever they want. They're all signed up for welfare. The Spanish government says that they're all legal. They want to replace the Spanish with these people, that these are better. This is what the left votes for. This is who they are. And this is the reality of what we're facing.
Really wild video here. Chaos at the border of Spain's North African enclave in Morocco. This is a city called Ceuta. You're watching as thousands of migrants break through the fence and completely overwhelm the border police. Their video showing huge groups.
Bro, that can't happen unless they allow it to happen. Like I said, all of these installations and structures, this was all built, you know, during war. It's all built to stop an invasion. And it's basically, these things are just like turnstiles. They're not stopping anything. They're just blowing right through it, like blitzkrieg almost. It's insane.
Of people, mostly young military-age guys,
all
cramming
them,
into
mostly.
inflatable tubes or arriving on shore another way, some of them wading in the water as they break through the gates to get to the other side. Sandra, this is reminiscent of kind of what we saw during the open border during the Biden administration through 2021, 2024, kind of similar to what we saw in Del Rio back in 2021. The socialist agenda, their platform literally says they want to abolish borders, abolish immigration enforcement, have complete freedom of movement. This is what it looks like in another country if they get what they want. Notice there is no resistance from the government whatsoever. These people are coming in without any obstruction. And if people don't know,
none, zero.
Spain has a very left-wing government. Earlier this year, they did a big amnesty program for over 1 million illegal immigrants living in the country. They had 1.3 million illegal immigrants apply for that amnesty program between April and June. So that's what we call a pull factor, Sandra.
Real time, uncensored, unstopped.
This is not the families, it's not the starving, their own culture, their own religion.
I don't want to hear that shit this time. Now, I don't want to hear anything about families and women and children. We can see with our own eyes. This is an army of animals.
Their last nuclear reactors shut down all their coal power plants. Mercedes can't even get energy to build cars. The U.S. blew up the Nord Stream pipeline that supplied half of Europe's gas, or 45% of it. I mean, this is economic warfare against us all.
Let's go ahead and pause it right there.
Insulated here in the U.S.
Let's go ahead and pause it right there. We'll go back to it. Here's the thing. To all my Muzzy-hating, hell yeah, bomb Iran, bomb Middle East, kill them all. To all the people out there that feel that way, you actually want these migrants over here. You're rooting for them to come. That's what you support with your foreign policy. And that's not true. I deny that. I hate the migrants. I don't want them in my country. Well, you support the wars that lead to destabilization, mass famine in their countries, and then they come to the West. It's called problem, reaction, solution. You can't ignore it. You can't deny it. There it is on tape. Caught on tape. Problem, reaction, solution.
You already know that's what they're going to use the Iran war as a pretense and say, oh, they're refugees because of the Iran war somehow. These aren't refugees, not even close. They're closer to an army.
Solution right there. That's your mass migration. That's your consequence of famine. That's your consequence of war. That's your consequence of general destabilization.
That's your consequence of famine? What did this guy's crazy. What is he smoking? This isn't a consequence of famine.
That allows for those NGOs and leftist groups to do things like this under cover of night, under cover of darkness, ultimately under the cover of blood, because when there's 1.5 million dead people in the Ukraine-Russia war, when there's thousands of dead people and dozens of dead American soldiers in the Iran war, people pay more attention to that than they do of hordes of military-age men coming into their country. Do you see the wives? Do you see the children? Do you see Nana on bended knee? No, you do not. You see guys looking like they could be in uniform tomorrow. And they probably will be. This is the classic Rome scenario. We're probably going to do this as well. Michael Yon, Mike Adams, Matt.
You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but he's kind of right there about that. Are we watching the downfall of Europe live? I mean, or pretty much live. I think that is a distinct possibility at this moment. I mean, that certainly can't be ruled out. That this, I mean, this could very well possibly be it, man. Like another wave like this, they're already not handling the last time very well. Like, bro, this is so surreal. I mean, dude, this feels like a dream right now. This feels like a dream to me. This is like a movie, bro. This is like a movie, man. Like, it's starting to hit me like, bro, this could be really bad, man. Like, this is crazy, man. Bro, this kind of stuff happens in movies. It reminds me of like the modern Planet of the Apes, where all the chimps and monkeys are running through the street. You know what I mean? Kind of get that vibe. Planet of the Apes vibe. Screaming, jumping on cars and stuff. Growling. Ripping men's faces off and stuff. Wow.
No, no, estaba mirando para allá y no te vi.
Whoa, man. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Pray for Europe, man. God
No, no,
help
estaba
them.
mirando para allá y no te vi.
Maybe you guys should just pull up stakes and come to the New World. And then we'll fight them all off and just retreat to Fortress America. We'll just do Fortress America. We'll round up everybody that isn't European, throw them out, and then just lock down, maybe ally ourselves with China, you know, form an alliance, an Anglo-Asian or Anglo-European, or excuse me, maybe Sino-European or what would it be? Nippon or European, Nippo-European country, society. If we did it with the Japanese anyway. We could do that. I mean, bro, it looks like Europe is, you know, the invasion, the conquest, the sacking of Europe is upon us. Not gonna lie. That's what it looks like. Like Europe is being sacked before our eyes. And it breaks your heart, man. Totally breaks your heart. Because they don't deserve this. don't what? Come down south with their BS. True. Let Spain handle their own. Yeah, they're going to have to handle their own. It's going to be rough going, I'm sure. Although they're not handling their own, they're just letting them walk all over them. Do their thing, have a good time, hooting and hollering. It should be a crime, man. I mean, these people, maybe they need to go on a date with Madame la Guillotine. Strikes me as that would be fitting for them. Madame la Guillotine. And Nick hasn't said shit about this stuff today. He hasn't said anything today. And I mean, I would imagine he's got to be watching this. He's got to be watching this. And like I said, I'm kind of waiting for him. I kind of want to hear what he has to say about this. You know? Because it's, you know something, though? Watch him not even bring it up. He does that shit all the time, where something big will happen and he'll just totally blow it off, like pretend it didn't happen. Somebody will ask about it in the comments at the end, the super chats, and he just dismissingly, you know, he dismisses it, and then he brings it up a week later or something. It's crazy. I mean, how is this happening? This is, like I said, here we go.
Hello,
See what they
everyone.
have to
There
say.
is an ongoing situation of emergency in Ceuta, the Spanish exclave.
Look at this. 1 hour ago, chaos erupts in Spain.
Chaos erupting in Spain's northern African territory of Ceuta as thousands of migrants crossed from Morocco. The White House responding to Fox News saying this, quote, President Trump has long warned Europe what would happen if they continued to implement far-left globalist policies, including enabling mass migration. Spain and other countries who have adopted this destructive philosophy should immediately reverse course or risk their own demise.
Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni commented.
Bro, I think Trump is a part of it too. That doesn't help them. That doesn't help the people of Europe, asshole. Oh yeah, he warned them about it, but when it comes down to it, has he done anything to stop it or to help stop it? Nothing. Nothing. He's a part of it. I don't see any reason why we should expect to dodge a bullet. I'm sure this is going to happen to us. You know, Trump, he'll do what he did with Iran. He literally did the exact opposite with Iran. Who's to say that he doesn't do the exact same thing to us?
On X in part, quote, we are prepared to intervene with extraordinary measures to defend the borders and the safety of citizens, including the suspension of the Schengen area with Spain.
Joining us now, former British Parliament candidate with the Brexit Party and Freedom Train International founder, Jim Ferguson. Jim, if we can just look at some of the video of these young military-age men pouring into this tiny area that is part of Spain, if you will, it is unnerving. Finally, Spain calls out the military, but if these individuals are minors, you can't send them back, can you? Just put this in perspective of why this is happening.
This is insane.
Hi, Deegan. Hi, Marcus.
Oh, and I'm sure the EU bureaucrats will come out and do a press conference and tell us how there's nothing we can do. Tell us that their hands are tied. They have to put them in 5-star hotels at your expense. And buckle up, Buttercup. And unless the Europeans do something about it themselves, nothing's going to happen. These people are going to be welcomed with open arms.
On with you. Yeah, Europe is facing unprecedented challenges with regards to mass illegal immigration. The United Kingdom's the same, Ireland's the same, pretty much the whole of the Western nations within Europe are facing this unbelievable problem. And you're right to point out, these are not asylum seekers. It's not women and children fleeing war-torn zones. These are young, military-aged men, and they're coming in their thousands. This latest episode in Ceuta in Spain was where they came across from Morocco in their thousands. But the socialist governments in Europe seem to be allowing this to happen. A lot of people are arguing that this is by design. Perhaps it's to get votes, perhaps it's to get them to remain in power. But it's quite unprecedented, and the European people themselves are seeing their communities overrun. This has been happening for a long time now. This latest episode in Ceuta, Spain, I think has brought it back into the focus again, and it's great that Fox News are focusing in on this as well. Up until quite recently, America had the problem at the southern border. With the U.S. administration under Trump, that has now stopped. So,
man, if we had Kamala Harris, does anybody think they wouldn't be literally coming over our borders as we speak? Did you think of that? I hadn't thought of it until it just hit me. Like, holy shit, this would be exactly what would be. Bro, it never would have stopped. It never would have stopped. I can't even imagine. Because if this is what they're doing, again, there's absolutely no chance that it wouldn't have continued. This absolutely would have been our fate.
hopefully we can get some changes of government. But Pedro Sanchez,
dude, they are celebrating like they just won FIFA or the World Cup. They're celebrating. This is the greatest day of their life. They're so excited. I can't even, there are no words.
Is a far left socialist in Spain, and he's completely losing control, or it may be worse than that. It might be by design.
Mm-hmm. No shit. No shit, it's by design. It might be by design. It's a fact this was by design. It's a fact all these people just come at one time. Look, there's an Amazon employee right there. That's crazy.
Jim, when you look at the risk, and we see this on camera, and obviously this is just a microcosm of things that are out there, what other parts?
It doesn't bode well for any white person. This does not bode well. You know, and when they do stuff like this, it's never localized. It's never contained. If we've learned anything, it's that if this is happening in one place in the West, pretty soon it's going to be happening all over the West, right? Am I wrong? Am I out of line here with this assumption or conclusion? This is a strategy. They're enacting, like, you know, part B of their plan. You know, this is crazy. And it doesn't bode well for any white person. Not at all.
Of Europe do you think are really vulnerable to this sort of mentality, and how do you stop it? And what does the United States need to do, if anything, to be involved in this process?
Well, first of all, I'll take the second point first. I think what Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, has done very recently in inviting, I think, up to 60 nations so far have joined this task force to combat serious far-left violence. Groups like Antifa, BLM, the list goes on. But more importantly, what's going on in Europe right now, they have warned. Marco Rubio's warned it. J.D. Vance, the Vice President.
Yeah, but
Trump.
they warn, but they're not doing anything. And these people are already there now. What's done is done. You know, they're there. Are they going to get them out, or are they happy that they're there? Because I'm willing to bet they're happy. Marco Rubio's happy with it too. You know, they pretend that they never act. They never reverse anything. This is happening, and these people are basically, you may as well call them Europeans now. Everything's going to be rubber stamped, and these people will never go back to Africa for the rest of their lives if they want. No doubt in my mind. No doubt whatsoever.
Has just
This
recently
is
described it as an
criminal,
invasion. These are powerful words,
diabolical.
but I think he's right to say it. What we need to do is put an immediate halt to mass illegal immigration coming across into Europe.
See, yeah, I mean, if they should have done that. They knew that this was going to happen. This didn't just, you know, our intelligence, bureaucracies, this is their bread and butter. They knew, you know, remember how they stirred up the Arab Spring? What do you think this is? We know what they can do if they want to. Like with the Arab Spring, they literally stirred up, you know, the overthrow of governments. And there's no doubt in my mind that they stirred this up too. They stirred this up, no problem. And they're welcoming it with, you know, they're two-facing it. They have one face for us, or a lot of them, they're just staying the hell away from cameras. Can you believe this? This is crazy. It's criminal and it's diabolical. Like, and if something isn't done, and it doesn't look like anything's going to get done at all.
And of course the UK as well. But the governments are not doing enough about it. They could stop it, they could halt it if they really wanted to. But their socialist mentality is they want to invite everybody in. They want to be seen to be kind and fair. But they're ignoring the wishes and the concerns of their own electorate, the people that actually voted them into power, and putting their communities at risk. And of course, we've seen a big...
I beg to differ. I'm sure they're taking care of their donors beautifully. They're taking care of their actual constituents, the ones they actually represent.
Rise in violent crime all across the West, not just in the United Kingdom, but in Ireland as well. And the recent attacks in Germany show that there is a big problem because it could also have terrorist links as well. So national security is a huge threat, or a real threat to national security in terms of
they say that,
who's
but they
coming
do
in.
nothing.
Are they undocumented? Yes. Do they have their passports? No, they don't. They don't know who they are.
Nobody
and
even
they're being
seems
put
to
up
care.
into hotels.
Nobody seems to care that they don't have passports. These people, they're totally unimpeded. They're meeting zero resistance.
In certainly in the United Kingdom, and just basically just doing whatever they want.
This has happened before, Jim, in Ceuta. That about 5 years ago, Ceuta, only about 85,000 people live there, and some 10,000 people from Morocco and sub-Saharan Africa crossed. Again,
Jesus.
many of
Sub-Saharan Africa, a bunch of barbarians that are going to drag Europe down. That's, I mean, they're certainly not going to lift it up.
minors crossed in. And I just wanted to note, you mentioned Pedro Sanchez, the Prime Minister of Spain, a far left individual,
what a piece of scum
politician. He wrote in the New York Times in an op-ed in February, the West needs people. Currently, few of its countries...
See, I told you the West needs people. Dude, they're talking out of the side of their mouths in newspaper articles talking about this stuff, and it goes totally unnoticed. They start hinting that they're going to do this. I mean, that's what that sounds like to me. The guy literally did an article about the West needing people, and then this happens. That's not a coincidence.
Have a rising population growth. Unless they embrace migration, they will experience a sharp demographic decline.
And we're okay with that. Why won't they let us be okay with that?
It will prevent them from keeping their economies and public services afloat.
So?
Is that what he had in mind right there, what we're looking at?
I think he, this is the mindset of the far left, and it's the same with the Democrats in the United States. I mean, they've gone almost completely communistic in their outlooks, but they're forgetting it with good policies, family-friendly policies, tax breaks for working families, helping to create new business, the mom and pop stores. These are the kind of things that actually help the economy. They don't need to take in thousands of potential terrorists because
they tried this before where they brought people in. It didn't boost the economy. It didn't save the retirement funds. It didn't fix anything. They just ended up with a huge fifth column of a bunch of lazy criminals.
that's really what they could be.
Yep.
And certainly those who are breaking the law and creating violent crime.
Stopping the inflow can happen. Our border is closed, but trying to deport people who are already here,
it's over.
That's the tough part. And President Trump has experienced that with the pushback from the left. Jim Ferguson, great to see you.
Thanks, Jim.
Great to be on.
I mean, this isn't good. Like, it just sucks, man, because once they're already in, they always feign, oh, there's nothing we can do. Our hands are tied. We've got to put them into 5-star hotels. Nothing we can do. Sorry, folks. Or they, pretend like they're doing something. They give us overtures, but nothing changes.
¡Viva Rico! ¡Viva España!
Viva España!
¡Viva España! ¡Adiós, Morocco!
Man, I would give anything to interview a couple of these guys and find out what took place before this day. Like, what led up to this? What have they been being told? Who have they talked to? Did they go to some gathering where they were told to all, this guy's got like Burberry on. What the hell? But how is this coordinated? Wouldn't it be nice to know how they're coordinating this? How our crooked elites are actually bringing this about? I bet I wouldn't be surprised if it was USAID type stuff. A bunch of corrupt, criminal, spending our tax dollars on this stuff. Funding, actually, paying for all these people to come here, paying money to send operatives to go stir this up.
Chaos has erupted in Spain. What you just watched was some of the wild, out-of-control scenes that we are seeing right now as thousands and thousands of migrants from Morocco surge into Spain as the country's border totally collapses at the northern city of Ceuta. Footage shows thousands of migrants, mostly young Moroccan men, running, sprinting and cheering, breaking through the fence, overwhelming border police after swimming over the Moroccan side and also overwhelming authorities at the city's breakwater.
Ya que hay mucha gente alrededor.
As you could see there, plenty of crowds of people, some wearing T-shirts, some in wetsuits, just pouring onto local roads.
Wetsuits?
The head of the
What the hell is going on that these people have wetsuits? Like, and how can they even pretend refugees and people, women and children that are starving? Like, these people have Burberry, they have football jerseys on. Them things are expensive. It's like these people have money. They have bikes. They're literally coming out of the ocean with bicycles.
association that represents Spain's civil guard officers in
Seek
Ceuta
and
told
destroy.
AP.
Is that what you're talking about, Supakarum? Seek and Destroy. That would be a good name for or a good album to come out.
The situation
Again,
is
re-release.
absolute chaos. It's not possible to give precise numbers, but there are thousands of
They are in
migrants
good
crossing.
shape.
There are reports at least
Huge.
9 people have died. Spain will be deploying its military in a desperate attempt to restore order.
Not to get rid of anybody in an attempt to restore order. They have no inclination to stop this. They have no thoughts, no ideas. They're not going to do anything.
White House has blasted Spain's left-wing government over the border chaos. White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly told Fox News, President Donald Trump has long warned Europe what would happen if they continue to implement far-left globalist policies, including enabling mass migration. Spain and other countries who have adopted this destructive philosophy should immediately reverse course or risk their own demise. Fox News' Bill Melugin said, what we are seeing in Spain right now, well, they are similar scenes to what America's border crisis looked like in 2021.
Reminiscent of kind of what we saw during the open border during the Biden administration through 2021, 2024, kind of similar to what we saw in Del Rio back in 2021. The socialist agenda, their platform literally says they want to abolish borders, abolish immigration enforcement, have complete freedom of movement. This is what it looks like in another country if they get what they want. Notice there is no resistance from the government whatsoever. These people are coming in without any obstruction. And if people don't know, Spain has a very left-wing government. Earlier this year, they did a big amnesty program for over 1 million illegal immigrants living in the country. They have
no resistance whatsoever. None.
1.3 million illegal immigrants apply for that amnesty program between April and June. So that's what we call a pull factor, Sandra.
Yep.
As you just heard, Bill Melugin there, around 1 million undocumented migrants sought legal status in Spain earlier this year. And what we are witnessing right now is certainly Europe's migration crisis escalating.
Yeah.
Stephen Miller, the
Another nail in the coffin, as it were.
House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy tweeted a video of Spain and said the Democrats did this to America every single day for 4 years under Biden and will do it again instantaneously. But
yeah, they're definitely going to make hay off of this, the Republicans. They might win another election because of this. They're probably like, yes, yes, that just saved our bacon. Now we don't have to. Now we can screw Americans even more.
Of magnitude greater if they are given any form of national power. Democrats will see your home trampled and stolen by invaders and they will rejoice. Elon Musk has tweeted a video as well, calling it an invasion. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who's pursued a pretty hard-line stance on immigration at home, has responded saying Italy will not stand by and watch. We are convening the relevant bodies and following these meetings, we are prepared to intervene with extraordinary measures to defend the borders and the safety of citizens, including the suspension of the area with Spain. Here's a bit more of what is unfolding.
Thousands of migrants from Morocco have broken through a border checkpoint to enter Spanish territory in North Africa. It's an illegal crossing and it's fueling...
An illegal crossing? More like an invasion. Seriously, that's not an illegal crossing. An illegal crossing is like, you know, a family, a worn out, beat up, bummish looking, hobo looking family. These are a bunch of fighting age bodybuilders. Well-fed bodybuilders. It's crazy.
Political debate now about migration right across Europe.
A sudden border breach, overwhelming authorities in Ceuta. Migrants are seen swimming from the Moroccan side using flotation devices. Others climbed the fence, crossed rocks or pushed past police officers while running into the Spanish territory.
Very happy to be here. It's been a very tough experience to go from the ocean. It was very tough. The police officers tried to stop us, but our will and our determination, we came here.
Wow.
9 people died attempting to cross the border between Morocco and Spain. Ceuta is separated from mainland Spain, but has long been a focal point for migrants trying to reach Europe. The influx of migrants is fueling concerns across the world. Italy's Prime Minister says the images coming from Ceuta are shocking and demonstrate once again that uncontrolled illegal immigration poses a real threat to the security of European borders.
It's time to
Yeah, Germans. Yeah, I would take Germans any day over this.
Up, everybody. No, I really mean it. Believe me, unless we get a reform government, those scenes you're seeing in Spain today, many of those young men, lots of them dangerous, will be heading towards Calais and coming to our
You're damn right they'll be coming to Calais. You're damn right. They're coming straight. Bro, this is like a movie where like some animal or some animal's gotten loose or a disease or something, and it's gunning. It's spreading as far and wide as it possibly can. They're coming straight for that island too. I mean, they're going to get past all obstructions. All of Europe is going to feel this, and there's only one place in Europe, England, that's an island, and there's water between, England and Europe. They're going to cross all obstructions. They already crossed that border. They got through all of those different fortifications like they were nothing. Now they're going to cross the channel to get to them. I mean, that's what they do. They did it last time. They're going to do it this time. These people, they look pretty determined. And like I said, they have the air of conquest about them. The way they're gleefully running through the streets. This is a conquest.
Country too.
While the White House says President Trump has long warned Europe about the consequences of continuing to implement far-left globalist policies, such as enabling mass migration, Spain and other countries that have embraced this destructive philosophy should reverse course immediately or risk their own disappearance. As part of an immediate response, Spain has deployed the military to restore order in...
You mean risk their people's disappearance? I think they're people, as far as they're concerned, they're like, yeah, our people are already disappearing. We're just replacing them. We're doing what we got to do. We're getting ourselves a new constituency because the old one is dying. It's like a new car or something. Oh, we got to get a new model, fellas. Sorry.
Ceuta. It's resisted calls to declare a national emergency despite more people converging on the border into the night, while Moroccan authorities use riot control equipment, tear gas and water cannons to try to maintain a sense of calm. Casa Shields, News 24.
Crazy.
Europe is being...
and at least Nigel Farage had something to say about this. You see, Trump, he sort of just kind of dismissed it. All he says is, I told him, I warned him. Okay, but you didn't do anything about it. Like, he didn't do anything. Although, I mean, we don't have that happening yet. So there's that.
Invaded. A full-scale emergency has been declared today in Ceuta, a small Spanish enclave in Morocco, which is EU territory.
I see. That's what they did do. I said this earlier. I was like, yeah, why don't they start a small Spanish area over in Africa? That way, these people, if they want to live in Spain so bad, they can just give up some of their land. Apparently, that's what they did.
Here's why. Yes, what you were looking at there.
And the fact that it's been spurred on because the promises their government's made. You already know that. I mean, the government obviously had a hand in this. A wink and a nod. This was like a dog whistle. They offered that. I'm sure they knew what was going to happen as soon as they did that. And it's like they could, if they had wanted to stop this, they could have easily. They knew that they were going to offer amnesty. Could they not have prepared for this? Could they not have prevented this? Right? I mean, am I wrong here? Am I out of line? They could have stopped this easily. Could have never let it happen. Instead, you get nothing. You get what happens? Those people, they start coming through and they get out of the way. The government totally get out of the way. That is so corrupt and so crooked. These guys hopefully, I mean, they have to go down in history as some of the most evil elites and rulers of modern times.
A caravan of thousands and thousands of North African men storming into Spain. And here they are, breaking through that border.
Ya aquí hay mucha gente alrededor.
Increíble la situación.
And just in case you were under any illusion as to who these people really are, here is one bloke appearing to admit that he's actually wanted for murder back in Morocco.
Wow.
Ali, why don't you stay in Morocco? Why have you decided to come to Spain? I came to Spain because I want to change my life. I have problems in Morocco. I don't want to go back to Morocco. What problems do you have in Morocco? I have problems that people with a dude, death. You can't go in there because they speak ill about me. Someone can die or another person. That's why I came.
Okay. And they want handouts immediately. Here is one bloke saying that he needs medical attention because he's injured himself whilst breaking into Spain.
I have a broken hand. I'm asking for help. I don't want food or a place to sleep. I need a hospital. I need a hospital. How did you break your hand? There was a barrier and I fell. I broke my arm.
Dude, what a perfect example. Like this, the first thing that happens to him in Spain, he breaks his arm and he's immediately asking for free shit.
Yeah, you fell off a barrier, getting over the barrier and breaking it. The barrier, by the way, was almost definitely just the border. So there you go. But this is not a new thing. In fact, I actually went to Ceuta to report on this as an independent journalist about 8 years ago. In recent weeks, dozens of migrants have landed on this Spanish beach, finally setting foot on European soil. Spain has now overtaken both Italy and Greece to become the top destination for migrants looking to enter the European Union. Are we now standing at the new frontier of Europe's migrant crisis? Everywhere you look, driving around Ceuta, there were hundreds of young African men walking around the city. We wanted to catch up with one of them to find out why they had undertaken such a dangerous journey and what they plan to do now.
Why they wanted it to. We already know why they wanted it to. I mean, come on now. This isn't our first rodeo, bud. Like, we know why they're here. We know what they intend to do.
Finally made it into Europe. It's not got any better, has it? Spain has given an amnesty to illegal migrants. So you can expect many of them to be on the mainland and coming to Britain soon. Can I just say as well, I do wonder if anyone in Spain now thinks, gosh, maybe, just maybe, giving an amnesty to illegal immigrants has caused what we've seen today.
They could have stopped them. They literally could have been at the border and just said, no, we knew you were coming. Not allowed. How hard would that have been? Seriously, how hard would that have been? They could have stopped all of this. Or they could have said to everybody in the West, hey, we got to let these people in and let them in a trickle. Or you know what I mean? Like, this could have been done some other way. This could have been, we could have avoided this. All this does is scare people. All this does, like, this is not the way to do this. Now these people, they think they're entitled. Now these people think that there's no law. They can do whatever they want. Like, man, this just feels like a punishment somehow.
Let's see what happened in France, though, much closer to home. Well, sadly, 4 people died in the Channel in the early hours of this morning.
Wow. It's already begun for the UK. I don't know what to say. That's incredible. Yeah, there are no women and children. That's a bunch of horse feathers.
But again, I just wonder how those female charity workers that I showed you yesterday feel about, all of the help that they've been giving them on the way, helping them to get out to shore, waving them off on the boats, and then some of them drown. They just die in the Channel. But here is more astonishing footage for you.
People are just waiting here. Look, openly, look. Here, French please. 30 metres, I'm being generous. 30 metres away. That's the word, mate.
So outrageous.
What are we paying for? And by the way, the bloke who took that video, like so many of the others that you've seen in recent days, is joining us live on this show in about 10 minutes' time. So he's very much the man of the moment when it comes to all of the latest video footage that you are seeing from what's been going on in France. Very pleased to have him on my show. But French police appearing to do absolutely nothing to stop the migrants on land. We know that the French help escort them by sea to British waters, and now they're helping them with air support as well.
There we go, the chopper's arrived.
He was on the last 2 days at 12 midnight. I wonder if it's because of all this.
This is absolutely chaos, this. This is chaos. Why are they allowing this to happen?
They want it to happen.
Yes. So it looks to me like the French put a helicopter in the air, which you are probably paying for, to help guide migrants who were setting off in the dark across the English Channel. So the French are providing air, land and sea support for the invasion of Britain. It is the exact opposite of this.
As dawn broke on that grey June morning, the greatest armada of ships the world has ever seen filled the narrow waters of the English Channel.
Straight up, dude.
Protected from the sea by the combined fleets and by the air forces in the sky above.
Yes. I can't be the only person wondering why did we bother. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very glad that...
Right? Seriously, that's how we all feel right now. What was it all for? What was it all for? Why did World War II happen? Why did they let 100 million Europeans kill each other? Like, what the hell was the point of it all?
Continental Europe is not living under the jackboot of Nazi fascism. But was all that sacrifice supposed to be for this, was it? So that one day our supposed allies can provide air, land and sea support to hordes of African and Middle Eastern blokes as they break into our continent and our country. You've worked hard for your money. So why does it feel like your pounds are constantly losing value? Your savings should grow and be...
Man, I wanted to see what Nick was gonna say, but it's getting kind of late, I'm not sure. It doesn't look like he's even gonna come on. To be honest. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there, fellas. It's kind of late last night, and I ended up sleeping in. But I hope you subscribe and drop a comment. Don't forget to give the video a like. Appreciate you guys coming through. I see all the old characters: Auto Hoax, Goldie. Thanks for coming through. This is unbelievable that this happened. I can't even believe it. I mean, at least it's still they're still in Africa, because they have their land. They own some land in Africa. So I guess they're not across, they haven't passed the Rock of Gibraltar yet. So there's that. Yep. I appreciate you watching, J-Boss. Good to see you guys. Good to see you, Alex. I appreciate it. And also, I appreciate the donation there, J-Boss. Thank you. I really do appreciate it, man. I will catch you guys tomorrow evening in the next one. Y'all have a good morning. Or, hope that this situation changes. But till tomorrow, fellas, take it easy.